Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. This is Kemi, and I'm here to talk about Love Island USA Season 7, Episode 32. So this episode, we are starting back off with Brian and Amaya in the hideaway. Brian and Amaya in the hideaway. Sorry. So we start off with them in the hideaway because, last episode they were in the hideaway. We see Taylor. I don't know why I'm still struggling with these names. I'm not really struggling with the names, but it's just like I see them and it's just like I got to remember to put the name to the face. But we see Taylor and Clark in the speakeasy and they're talking about if they want to have a wedding. So Taylor says he wants to have a wedding and he wants everybody to have a cowboy hat with their initials on it or something like that. And she was just like, yeah, no. My wedding is gonna be lively. It's gonna be demure. It's gonna be. I'm gonna have to. It's gonna be like nice. Like we're not doing any of that. So they're like, they talk about that. Then we see they kiss or whatever, and they're happy with each other, which is cute. We see Huda and Chris talking, and they had a few conversations that like gave a breakdown to where they ended up at, like how they ended up to where they were today. I mean, uh, at by the end of the episode. So the first conversation that they had, I can't remember what they were talking about, but it looked like he had got irritated and stopped talking to her. I can't remember what it was that they were talking about, but like he got up in the middle of their conversation or when they were done and she was just like, "Oh, okay." So then we go back to Amaya and Brian. They're in the jacuzzi and they're getting it on. Then we see everybody getting ready for bed and we see Chris, Ace, and what's this boy's name? I keep wanting to call him Nicolandria, but Nick. So we see Chris, Ace, and Nick. They're in the bathroom, and Chris is complaining about the fact that Huda didn't want to kiss him because remember I said it's gonna come back. He had asked her to kiss him, and she looked around, and then he was just like, "Never mind," and just gave her a kiss on the forehead. So he was just like, "She don't want to kiss me in public." And Ace was just like, "But wait, didn't y'all kiss in the speakeasy?" And he was just like, "Yeah, but nobody was around." So he's like wondering why she doesn't want to kiss him in public, but she want to sleep with him at night. They get intimate at night. So he's like trying to figure out what's going on. So they all go to bed and we see Ace kissing Shelly belly. And she's just like, "Why you keep kissing my belly?" And he was just like, for the baby that's there. She's just like, "Ain't no babies in here. Quit playing." I was just like, y'all a mess. They're so cute. I love them. I really do. So again, everyone is sleep and they all go to sleep. We wake up the next morning and we see the guys making breakfast and the girls are waiting for their food or getting ready or whatever, and they're also waiting for Amaya and Bryant to come out. Sorry about that. So they're waiting for Amaya and Brian to come out. So Amaya and Brian are still in the hideaway. They're chilling before they come out. They finally come out and they go their separate ways. Like the girls go with Amaya and then the boys go with Brian. They each tell each other what happened in the hideaway. We get, let's see, then what happens? So then like we see them like all speaking together and like they're all just scattered around talking or whatever. Someone gets a text. Oh, Chris gets a text. Chris gets a text and then they find out that Chris gets a text saying that they are going to play basketball, that the boys are going to play basketball and no girls are allowed. So they're all excited. So they leave, they go play their game of basketball. The girls are at home, like, what's going on? Like, ain't this about a blimp? But they just, they chill and they're talking. After the game, the guys are talking about the guys are talking about their relationships and everything like that. Ace is just like, you know what, I'm ready to go back to the villa, bro. I'm ready to, I'm like, I'm ready to go back and get my girl. I miss my Shelly. Um, uh Nick is talking about how he likes his, relationship and where they're going, and like he knows that she likes to have her pancakes crisp edges, so he makes sure they are crisp. And then Taylor tries to interject and tell him like, "Oh, you should do this," and it's just like, "Shut up." Like, I'm not trying to be like that, but it was just like you had the chance to do all of the stuff that like you're telling Nick to do for Alandria that you didn't do for her. Like, so you knew what to do, you just didn't want to do it for her, and that just pissed me off all over again. Like, ugh. So then we see Pepe talking about how him and Iris were friends. They started off with a friendship. He didn't realize it would get this way, and he's so excited. And then Chris is talking about how he him and Huda are just like in this weird place. So they're like, he doesn't know what's going on. Like, he just feels weird about it. Like the fact that she don't want to kiss him in public, but she wants to be intimate and private and all this other stuff. So he's like confused about what's going on with them. So we get back to the girls, and the girls are talking about their relationships and how happy they are or whatever. And Huda's talking about, yeah, her and Chris are in this good place and X, Y, and Z and this, and that, and all this other stuff. And it's just like, girl, y'all are not. But I guess. So then we see they go back to the guys, and Taylor is saying that he wants to close it off with Clark. And I was just like, ain't nobody else coming in. What you got to close off for? But he wants to like ask her to go be exclusive. So it's just like they're dating each other, like once they leave. So I was just like, okay, after like it, like he explained it a little bit more. It was just like, okay, I get what you're trying to do. Cause I was just like, what do you mean closed off? Like, ain't nobody else coming in here for you to be like, oh, I want to explore anybody else. Ain't no need to be closed off at this point, but whatever. So he decides to do a cheer because she used to be a cheerleader or whatever. So he wants to do a cheer where the guys are going to spell out her name, and then um he's going to ask her or whatever. So they come back, and when they come back, they're acting like they're all hurt or whatever. And they're just like, man, we was hurt. It was just like, wow. And then it was just like, yeah, when it was telling the story, they were just like, yeah, first Ace dunked on Chris, and then after that he just started elbowing everybody because he was just like, yeah, da, 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 elbowing everybody. And then Taylor was just like, yeah, he was playing prison ball. And I was just like, y'all wrong for saying this man dunked on. That man is a whole foot taller than him because he's like 6'8" and Ace is 5'10". Yes, he is. I don't care what y'all say. That man is 5'10". But anyway, so they all go there, everyone is talking to their respective others, and then they all get ready for the night. So they come downstairs. They've gotten ready for the night. They come downstairs, and they're like, Taylor gives a toast to everybody, and then as he does the toast, that's when they do the little cheer. So they do the cheer, give me, like, they spell out her name, and then he asks her, will you be exclusive with me? And she says yes. So everybody's excited for them, and it's just like, yay. And I was just like, it really was cute. Like, that was really so cute. And it's just like, it makes me mad yet again because it's just like, you really could have been doing all of these things for Alandria without the push from somebody else, because you came up with this idea for yourself to do that picnic date for Clark, to do this cheer for Clark, to do that. And it just shows how much you really did not like Alandria. And it's like, you really didn't like her, so you should have let her know from jump that you did not like her instead of wasting her time and making her look stupid. And it really upsets me that he did that to her. I'm happy for him and Clark because I think they are a better fit. I feel like her, Clark and Taylor are a better fit for each other. I think because I feel like she's not gonna be a farm girl. She does not seem like she wants to be on a farm. Like she wants to be she's a city girl, true and true. But um, but yeah, but anyways, I do like them as a couple. I think they do match better. They do. It's like they're like he is more like you could tell that he likes her. Like, and then again, it also shows like he really didn't like Alandria, and it's just like I wish he would have told her that. But anyways, he's with Clark now. I like them as a couple. They could make it. They can make it all the way. Well, they could make it all the way because we're gonna get there. So so as you know, after she done asked, after she said yes, they go sit down somewhere else, and then Chris pulls Huda because he wants to talk to her. So Chris and Huda are talking. So this is where we get the breakdown. So he he asked her, he's just like, remember when I asked you to, if we like, remember when I asked to kiss you the other day, do you know what you did? And she was just like, yeah, I looked around. And he was just like, why was that? And she was just like, well, because I don't like to do PDA. And he was just like, I don't get it. Like, why can't you kiss me in public when you can sleep with me in private? And she was just like, because I don't do PDA. I'm not a PDA person, X, Y, and Z. So then he's trying to explain himself and she cuts him off. And he was just like, can I finish? And she didn't let him finish. She finished what she was saying. He responded to what she said and then continued to try to say what he wanted to say. And then she cut him off again. And he was just like, can I finish? And she stopped. He started talking again, and then she cut him off the third time, and he was just like, can I finish? She didn't let him finish that time. She continued to say what she wanted to say. Then he spoke again, and she cut him off. And he was just like, you won't let me finish. Like, stop talking. And it was just like, Huda, be quiet. Like, she cut him off 4 times and did not let him really say his piece. Like he was trying to explain to her and ask her so that she could give a better, make him understand what he was asking, because what she was saying still wasn't making it understandable for what he's asking. Because it's just like he's asking a true question. Why is it that you can't kiss me in front of all these people, but at night you can sleep with me in front of all these people? Just because we put the covers over our head does not mean that these people are not here. These people are still right next to us. They can hear it, they can smell it, they can see it. It that's still PDA. Just because a blanket is over your head does not mean they don't know what's going on. And you are on camera to millions of people all over the world. So the fact that you can't kiss him is a little red flaggish. But she's not listening to him because it has to be her way. She doesn't want to listen. She won't stop and listen to understand what he's saying. She is listening to respond, which is why she kept cutting him off, because she didn't want to hear what he actually had to say. Because if she heard what he actually had to say, then it would make sense and she would have to be like, yeah, you're right. But she didn't want to do that. So she kept saying, well, I don't want to do PDA. In my head, PDA is for everybody. Us being private in the bedroom, it's the bedroom. No, it's not, ma'am. You're not in a bedroom by yourself where it's just one bed, four walls. You are in a bedroom with six beds and four walls. And the person who's the bed that's next to you is not even arm's length away. So you're not making sense. That's still PDA. That's actually P. That's P. That's not even PDA. That's the P. Like what's not making sense? What's not clicking up there for you? And then she gets in her confessional like, I want to take things slow. I don't want to do what I did in my old. And it's just like, no, ma'am. You're still sleeping with the man. You're not going slow. There's no way that that is slow if you are sleeping with this man. It don't make no sense. So she just gets up and walks away, and he's just like, "Am I tripping?" And it's just like, y'all wasn't even done with y'all's conversation, and you just got up and walked away. And it's just like, I understand that you're not trying to crash out, but at the same time, you can't just get up and leave the conversation just because you don't want to hear when you're wrong. That's not how that works. It's not. But in Huda's mind, that's what she gonna do. So that's what she did. And she walked away. So he goes and sits somewhere, and Brian comes to check on him. And then yeah, Brian goes to check on him, and everybody was like watching, like looking at it, and they were just like, wow, like, because the guys knew that there was something wrong. The girls didn't, because she was over there just talking about um how they're so good and this and that, and it was just like, girl, no, y'all are not. But whatever. So um we see Amaya talking to Brian, asking him like what happened. So he explains like, she says she doesn't want to do PDA in front of y'all, but it's okay for her to sleep with me, with y'all around. It just doesn't make sense to me. And she was just like, yeah, I understand, and she agrees with him. And then she also tries to um like kind of make him see her side as well, but it's just like her side don't make no sense, so it doesn't matter. But I digress. So they so we see Nick and Olandria talking, and he's asking her how does she feel about Taylor. And she was just like, I'm happy for him, like, I'm happy for him, like, as much as I wanted to, like, as much as I wanted that with him, um I knew that it probably wouldn't work out of here, because he's going to vet school, and that's 3 years, and he ain't gonna have no time for me. But I am happy for him. I'm happy for both of them. And so it's just like, again, Alondra is not mad that he found another connection. She's just mad about how he went about it, and she's over it now, and she's happy that he's with who he's with, which is good. So um we see Amaya talking to Huda, and he's like, she's trying to get her side and explain things to her, and like, just talking. And again, Huda is talking in circles, because even as she's speaking, it don't make no sense, because it's just like, ma'am, at the end of the day, you are still sleeping with this man with a bunch of people around, but you can't give him a peck in front of everybody. And then you're saying they don't do that, like the other couples don't do that. What do you mean? Shelly and Ace are always pecking each other. Same with Clark and Taylor, and Pepe and Iris, and Amaya and what's it called? And Amaya and Brian, yeah. Sorry, Brian. They're all always pecking each other, like mwah, mwah, like with people around. The only ones who don't do that is Nick and Alondra, because they not at that place yet. So you're not making sense, Huda. Like, making no sense at all. So as they're talking, somebody gets a text. I think it's um what's his name? Who gets a text? Uh what's that man's name? Pepe. Pepe gets a text, and so this is the America's vote. So they find out that America's been voting, and somebody is about to get sent home. So they're all gathered at the fire pit. They tell them they've been voting. The person with the least vote is going to be, the couple with the least vote is going to be sent home. They ask everybody to stand up, and then they tell them in no particular order, these are the people that's going to be saved. So the first couple that to sit down is Ace and Shelly, and they were shocked because again, America don't like them, so they're saved. Then the next couple to be saved is um Iris and Brian. Yeah, it's Iris and Brian. Then Pepe and no, Amaya and Brian. Then Pepe and Iris, and then Chris and Huda. And Chris looked so upset. He looked like he was pissed. He looked like he was ready to go. Like he was pissed that he was saved. Like he would not look at her. So they sit down, and she like Pepe is telling Iris, yeah, they just had a bad conversation. And so I mean, Huda is looking at Chris like, she's like, hey, and he just looks at her, and then she like takes his hand, and then she's looking at him like she wants to kiss him, but he's just like stone face pissed. Like he's like, I'm not about this. So they tell Nick and Alandria and Taylor and Clark to go stand in front of the fire pit because they're the ones who we don't know about. Or we don't know the three um two that's left. Sorry, the two that's left to get who's going to be saved or whatever. So we do the little roundabout, the drums, please. And then we find out that Nick and Alandria are saved. So that means that Taylor and Clark get sent off. So they're sad. Um, Ace is sad because that's his boys going home. So they leave, like they go and pack up their stuff. Then we see Ace, Nick, and Taylor. They go and sit down, and they like have their like conversation because it's been them. Like, yeah, those are those are the last OG boys. Yeah, it was Taylor, because the OG boys are Nick, and Nick, and Ace. Those are the OG boys. So it's just those three left, and Taylor gets sent home. So they have the little conversation or whatever, and they're just like, we gonna get, this friendship is gonna last past this villa or whatever type situation. So that's how the episode ends, with Taylor and Clark leaving. And yeah, that was the episode. So not a lot happened in this episode. We're getting down to the wire. This is episode 32. So we have, how many more episodes do we have left? We have two more episodes and then the finale. So yeah, that's it. But let me know what you guys thought about this episode. Get down in them comments. What y'all think about Huda and Chris? I don't think they're gonna make it past. I don't think they're gonna make it after 24 hours. Like, yeah, they not gonna make it, because yeah. But hey, I digress. So, anyways, that was the episode. If you like what you see, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next one.